A bright light in the flying community has dimmed tonight. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jaewon Jung. Last Thursday, Corvallis pilot Marianne Fox passed away after a devastating plane wreck in Florida. She leaves behind loved ones who remember her talents and her charm. I spoke to her fiancé, who shares how he plans to find the light in the skies during this dark time. There's not enough words Jim Burke could use to describe his late fiancée, Marianne Fox.
It's hard to find one thing that I could say that I remember the most about her. She was just a real treat, very, very good to be around.
The couple met 15 years ago on an online dating service and just a few years later became life partners. They were most recently living together in Corvallis.
We call each other husband and wife, but we were really fiancés for the last couple of years.
Jim long held a passion for flying, and eventually Marianne started taking to the skies with him.
I never thought that she'd become a pilot. It just wasn't something that she was interested in. But as she became associated with me and now deeply I'm involved in aviation and met all the people that I knew and came to understand how much joy there is in aviation, she wanted to be part of that.
Quickly, Marianne rose to the top, winning in aerobatic flying competitions like the regional series.
And she was very excited because she had reached some really important goals that she was really looking forward to, and she was flying very well.
Marianne was excited to enter more competitions this year until disaster struck last Wednesday night.
Marianne and I had been practicing aerobatics, which was our love, our joy, at an airport called Keystone in Florida, and had a couple successful flights there, and she flew very well. And we decided to fly back to St. Augustine Airport.
During this particular flight, Jim says Marianne was not practicing aerobatics.
And we were only maybe less than 10 miles away from St. Augustine when she had an engine issue. I saw smoke coming out of the exhaust of the airplane.
Shortly after, Jim and Marianne decided to declare an emergency.
I don't know exactly what was going on with her airplane. I still don't know. But somehow she maybe decided to try and go around, I don't know. But she ended up in the marsh. It's on the end of the runway, quite a ways from where I thought she was going to be touching down. So it was a real surprise and a real shock. And then she came to rest there upside down in the marsh.
He says rescue teams did all they could to save her.
Everyone did what they could to take care of her. It was very hard to go through that. Marianne passed about 12 hours after the accident. And from that moment on, it's been very, very difficult.
Jim is taking it day by day and says family and friends have been supportive, including his aviation family, the community Jim and Marianne both shared and loved.
And I know that I will have a lot of memories of Marianne as I go forward, and if I'm flying alone, I will miss her. I miss her right now, but it will be very hard to do what I was doing before. So I have to just take some time and think that through. And I also have to think a little bit what Marianne would want from me, which is not as easy as it might seem. I have to think about that a little bit. What would she want from me? I don't know. I'd want to honor her.
Jim hopes there aren't dark clouds on his next flight, but a bright light watching over him as he continues to soar over the skies. Marianne grew up in Dallas, Oregon, and her services will be held at Dallas United Methodist Church on Thursday at 11 a.m.